it's so hard sometimes to look at yourself and try to find things you love when it's the certain hard things happening in your life. When you come from a lot of things that you have to do for yourself, and you come from nothing, and you sort of one who sort of have to move the family forward in that way.
Yeah.
And everything is coming. Mucus, tears.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's like you the first of everything in your family, which is what I am in my family. I'm like the first of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, it does take a toll on you. Like we had the conversation earlier. It takes a toll on you. And I had dreams. One of my biggest dreams was to work for a magazine, which I work for.
Yeah.
And that career has opened so many doors for me.
Aww.
Like, it's insane. Sometimes I sit and think, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is my life.
Are we ready? Let's get it. Welcome to On Pivoting. Today we are joined by Sindeka Mandoyi.
Ooh, okay.
An author, a literacy activist, and the founder of Chosi Chosi.
Yeah, Chosi Book Club.
Chosi Chosi Book Club. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is gonna be cool. I think. I hope so. Yeah, but
I'm
thank you so much.
excited. I'm excited. I was worried before we started recording about mispronouncing your book club, so I hope I got it.
No, you got it.
Okay.
I mean, the first course it was a bit shaky, and then the second one was good.
Landed it.
No, it did.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I really admire that initiative. How did you stumble into that?
Yeah. So everything I do is always like inspired by my own upbringing.
Okay.
Everything that I've gone through or want to do in my life. So the book club was something like that. So I grew up without books at home. There were never any books.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with books at school. So the only place I would have books was when I was at school. And then there was this teacher who had a way of telling stories. And I really, really loved her. And I would always picture her every time I'm home. Just have to tell stories and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then as I grew older and older, I'm from the township. I grew up in the township.
Yeah.
I know everything. And I went to a township school at Pendula Private School in Kailicha. And I sort of like, I saw a lot of things that we lacked. There was a lot. But Kailicha was one of the coolest townships because what they did they tried to invest into the youth.
Okay.
So it was really, really cool to be able to have like extra activities after school. So that was great for Kailicha.
Yeah.
And then in my 20s, I moved to Philippi, which was a total different place.
Yeah.
When I got there, children were not doing anything after school. And it was just the most boring neighborhood for kids. It really was for children.
Yeah.
And then I think right around that time, that was when also Pearls reported that 82% of children cannot read for meaning. And I was like, okay, do I start like an art club or do I start a book club for kids?
Okay.
I was like, okay, book club, but I'll also try to incorporate like dancing and learning and singing, like all of those things into one.
Yeah.
And then I started in 2019 with just my cousin and like his 3 friends.
Okay.
They would come and then we would just chill and then I would read for them. And then word of mouth started coming and then children started to come. It was so cool because I think I've always had this itch, when you have an itch,
an inkling,
it needs to go away.
Yeah.
And it was always centered around education, centered around children, centered around Black kids mostly. And I thought, let me do this. And I was scared, I don't want to lie. Because I didn't know how I was going to be received by the children. And also I'm not a qualified educator. I had to take like small courses so that I can understand how to teach a child. Because also those kids come with different learning abilities. So I
Yeah.
had to like, okay, how do I unlock like different ways of teaching those kids, which was hard, still hard, but I'm trying. I'm
Yes,
trying my best.
yes.
But yeah, that's just the summary of the book club. I think I've said a lot, but that's the summary
No,
of the
that's
book
beautiful.
club.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. And like that was during COVID, right?
Yes.
So you would have had a lot of kids that were home,
Yeah.
they were not going to school. That must have been interesting.
Yeah, because we started before COVID, and
Mm-hmm.
then we had to though pause during when it was happening,
Mm-hmm.
when it, like everyone must be home and everything like that. But I tried because it's a very small where the book club is, the very small community. So
Yeah.
even though it was like restricted for us to move around, we tried to like stick in a little bit of reading here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very good. It's like a hug myself, sometimes the young self that wanted to be part of a book club, but it never
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
where I grew up. And it's so exciting. I think every Saturday through the kids, I also learn.
Yeah.
They teach me. They've taught me so much. They've taught me to be patient. I am the least patient person on planet Earth.
Same,
Like,
man.
I am the least. Every time I say this, people are like, you can't be. 30
You come
kids.
across very
Oh,
patient and
girl.
kind and accommodating.
Girl. Patient. I had to learn how to be patient
Yeah.
through the kids, because teaching is a process. You have to be very patient, and you have to understand that the kids learn differently, which is one of the biggest things that I had to understand, because I've always seen it at school.
Yeah.
Like when I was still at school, that okay, this guy maybe is struggling to read. We're already in grade 10, but this guy is struggling to read. I'm like, I wonder why. What
Yeah.
happened along
Yeah.
the way?
Yeah.
And I see that with the kids as well, where like a child is 10 years old, they should be able to do the basic things. So then I have to track back and be like, okay, what's happening? How did we get here? How can we get them to the next level? And it's exciting. It's hard work, and sometimes I feel like, oh, am I even doing this for a reason? Am I making a difference to these children?
Yeah.
And sometimes people like you will reach out and say, we see what you do. It gives me like some
Hope.
exactly
It's
like
so beautiful, honestly. Like I remember when I was at UCT, there was this organization called Shoko, right? And well, Shoko Education specifically, we would go to Kailicha and we would tutor kids, but it was mostly math and accounting, those basic, I mean, not basic, but compulsory subjects in high school. And I always like noticed that some of the learners couldn't necessarily even read. And you
sure.
ask yourself, what exactly are we doing here? Because you're trying to educate somebody in something that is as specific as mathematics or accounting, but can they even read what the
Sure.
question is saying? So I truly, truly admire your initiative. I think it's important that we start there with reading, because everything else can come. You can learn accounting, but you need to understand the language in which you're being questioned
Sure.
before you can even attempt any other thing. So
No, true.
I really, really like admire your work.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Ah, that's beautiful. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. I just want to just bring it back to you for a bit, right? When you were growing up, did you find that you were always a person who showed up for other people?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I feel like it would also get to the point. I remember when I went to my first interview ever. I
Okay.
think this is a bit when I was a bit in my when I was 19,
Yeah.
18, 19.
Yeah.
I remember going to my first interview. So first of all, I taught myself how to speak English.
Okay.
Right? I taught myself a lot of things. I taught myself how to speak English through hip hop, because I used to love hip hop music. And then I'll listen to hip hop and I'll listen to a word. I'm like, okay. At some point, I was like, the rah, girl. Because I was trying to find an accent that will fit me.
Yeah.
And so for me, I never understood how other people were not able to grab the language or find ways to learn the language. Because
Okay.
as much as I want to tete expressa every day,
Yeah.
our reality is that we have to learn it.
It's a
to
medium of
survive. And we
communication.
have to survive through it. You go to work, nobody's gonna interview in a person or suit to obedi.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
So-
unless it's relevant to the position. Like if
True.
you're gonna be a class or teacher, then
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
relevant
yeah.
in that context.
True.
Yeah.
So I went to this interview. I remember being I think it was a group
Mhm.
interview, and I remember they were interviewing different people, and I was there, and they were interviewing this guy, and he was struggling to respond to the questions asked.
Okay.
I ended up translating during the interview, saying, "No, I think he's trying to say this," and then the interviewer was like. And then I'll tell him, I think the interviewer was trying to say this. So I think I've always tried to be the center. Trying to
Yes.
be like
A helper.
Yeah. And I think it comes also from my family because I was also raised by women, strong women. And like every community, because we've moved around with my family, every community, my family was always that family that gives out. It's not like we had a lot.
Yeah.
But my mom told me if somebody comes knocking, they need like oil.
Yes.
Give them oil, even if it's like very little hours, it's very little,
Yeah.
but give them this oil.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom played a really vital role in my life in giving, but I also think it's a natural thing that because sometimes I'm like, oh girl, relax. Relax.
Yeah.
They're gonna figure out themselves. Relax.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm also an empath. I always take people's pain so much to the point that it physically do things to me.
Okay.
Like I would feel like I was so excited coming here.
Yeah.
Because yesterday, because I knew I was coming, sometimes I would feel something like, okay, maybe someone is going through something where I'm going.
Yeah.
But just I was so excited. I was like, oh, I don't think anything is happening yet. So I'm good. So I'm good. So I don't know what to call it or whatever it is. It's not like I have a calling or whatever. I think I have
just an ability to discern an environment.
Like it's too much sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, okay, cool, this is what I am, this is how I am. I just need to learn or navigate how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I think I've always been that girl who's like, in the middle of people's problems, trying to solve, trying to see a solution, trying to see the best outcome out of anything and everything. Yeah.
Have there been moments where you were pouring into other people, but you yourself felt empty?
Currently.
Okay.
And it's another thing that beginning of the year, I was like, you know what, this year I actually gonna try to give to be for me more than I am for other people. And it's hard. It's very hard because it also, because a part of me wants to go back to school, but because there's a lot of people who depend on me, it's hard to say, it's so hard, but I'm working towards that. It's not a simple thing. I have a mother who's unemployed. I have a sister who's still trying to find her ways with her career, and I have nieces who look up to me and so on and so forth, and family members that I'm willing to help and assist here and there. But it gets to a point where you're like, no, man, I need to be selfish sometimes. I need to give myself time. Yeah, because there's a lot of things I also want to do for myself. And also with the book club, there's been sacrifices here and there. Because the book club, I'm trying to build it to be something big. I remember getting a job offer, which was based in Joburg. And that meant me having to say the book club is done. And I sacrificed. That was a lot of money that I could have gotten. But I was like, no, man, let me try and build this thing. Once I feel like it's settled and I have people that I trust who can run it while I'm away and working in Joburg, then maybe it could be something. So there's been sacrifices, and I don't take those things very lightly. Some people may not see them, but I see them. I know what I've done, and I know what I have sacrificed, and I'm trying to get back to myself. But luckily, I have a partner who's incredible. He's like the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Aw,
So
that's so
he's
sweet.
one person who I know pours into me. Like
Yeah.
he will move a mountain for me. So,
Aw.
so I have him, and also my family is quite supportive,
Yeah.
and all of that. But yeah, there's been times where I'm like, yo, do I really have to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it feel like when you are giving from a place of depletion and not necessarily from a place of overflow?
Yeah. Phew. You remind me of Oprah. Remember Oprah said you always have to fill your cup before you pour into
Yeah,
other
yeah,
people.
yeah.
It's so hard.
Mm.
It's so hard because I remember I don't know if it was an article or just a reel on Instagram. It said you cannot, I'm going to paraphrase here.
Mm.
You cannot give when you don't have a lot. Like you have to
Yeah.
first give to yourself, and then then you can
You
pour to
overflow,
whoever.
yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't really necessarily agree with that, because you'll meet people like, oh, when I'm rich, I wanna do this and
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
With me, I'm like, I'm alive. I wanna do it now. Why must I wait until I'm rich? Why must I do that?
Exactly.
I have, like, I don't, because when I started the book club, I was literally an intern earning 4,000.
Mm.
And I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I feel like it's there. I have to do it.
Yeah.
But I won't lie, it's hard when you don't have a lot, because
Mm.
you try to knock, but some doors, and it's never like big companies or whatever, some doors do open.
Yeah.
But it's going back to sacrificing.
Mm.
You have to sacrifice. There's a lot
Yeah.
that you will sacrifice because you don't have a lot yourself. Because I'm
Yeah.
still trying to navigate. I'm still trying to build my career. I'm still trying to be the best that I can be, because I'm still learning. I am
Yeah.
learning every day. I am
Exactly.
learning, and there's so much to learn out there. So it's a lot. I won't lie. It's sometimes there's days I'm like, "Ah, do I really have to do this? Can I stop now?" Like even with the
Yeah.
book club, at some point I've thought, can I just maybe this year don't do it,
Yeah.
and then maybe the following year I can go back and do it.
Mm.
But then I go on a Saturday to the book club, and then I look at those kids, I'm like, can't. I
This is what
can't.
it's about.
Exactly. I can't. I have to
Yeah.
look the bigger picture, the bigger goal. What
Yeah.
happens after this? Because
Yeah.
these kids are growing. There's already been kids who starting high school. I think last year the first kids who started
Aw.
high school, because the age range is from grade 2 to grade 7.
Okay.
And then last year, two, I think it was 2 or 4 who were like
Going to
leaving.
high school.
And I was like, you know what, guys, you can always come and assist in the book club. But they're
Yeah.
gone. They are gone. But
Oh,
I'm
that's
so
so
happy
nice.
to see them go to high school, because
Yeah.
that's also another chapter in their lives that I'm hopeful it will bring something to them, and then maybe one day they'll come back, pour into the book club, because that's what I'm trying to build with them. And I tell them all the time,
Mm.
one day you guys are going to take over this. You're going to take the book club. I'm
Yes.
not going to be here forever. This
Yeah.
is yours. This is for your community. This is for your
Yeah.
people, children who comes after you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's cool, and it's exciting, and I'm learning. I think the biggest thing is just learning. I'm learning while I'm teaching, which is something that I find profound in a way.
It
So,
is.
yeah.
It truly is. How do you navigate giving and choosing yourself?
Phew,
That tension that comes with it.
girl, I don't know. I don't know. I think every day I wake up and breathe and be like, oh, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens. It's it's hard,
Yeah.
because it's not only choosing what I'm doing with the book club, it's also choosing my family, my responsibilities,
Yeah.
my demanding career, because I also work. I have a 9 to 5. I have a job
Yeah.
which is the most demanding job on planet, because I always have to know what's happening in South
Yeah.
Africa, what's happening in the world.
Okay.
And it's hard, and then there's just me there while everything else is like, girl, pay attention to us, pay attention. and
Yeah.
and it's like everything takes a piece of me, and
Mm.
uh, I don't know, girl.
It's something you're
It's
still
really
figuring
something
out.
to think about, and I think I'm working on, and it's hard to give you like an answer that I feel like
It's a
is complete,
reflection. Yeah.
because I feel like I'm in a process of learning. Because once I started everything, my career and everything like this, it started as, I don't know, man. I don't know, but let me just say, it's just a process. I'm working. I'm working
No, that's
towards it.
beautiful. And I think that's why I wanted to speak to you specifically about this, because a lot of the time, people like you who have a heart for giving and nurturing other people, they never necessarily stop to say, okay, when do I realize I'm overstretching? When do I take a pause? Because
Sure.
your pausing has a direct impact on the next person,
Sure.
right? It's the difference between this child graduating or making it into high school or university. You could be a direct, you know, inhibitor of that. And it's not necessarily, oh no, if I don't log into social media today, somebody's world will collapse. This is a direct, like, this is a person's life
Yeah.
that you're nurturing every Saturday, and you can see your work in that person. And like what you just said now, when they went to high school, and you can see all that progress that they've made, your work has a direct impact on somebody else. And
Sure.
because of that fact, you don't pause. You don't see sacrifice. You don't see overstretching. And I think it's something a lot of people struggle with, and we never really truly question, because it's like, is it selfish
Sure.
to do that? To choose myself,
Yeah.
to take a break, to not overextend.
Yeah.
So I think it's beautiful that you are honest about that, and you can say, no, I don't know if I'm truly navigating
Yeah.
this to the best of my ability. All I know is I wake up every Saturday morning, I see these kids, and it brings me joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, true. And yeah, I remember last year. I think last year was the hardest year for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
With everything that's happening, because I remember, I think around September, October,
Mm-hmm.
I had to, because I have a girl, a lady who assists me, Inam,
Mm-hmm.
and so every time I'm not there, I always try to get her. Like, we will create like a task for the kids to do for that Saturday.
Yeah.
So I remember for 2 weeks, I was like, I'm not well.
Yeah.
I'm not well mentally.
Yeah.
And it was not just the book club, it was everything in my
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
And because she was there, I knew the book club is fine.
Mm.
And I just had to figure out what's happening with me, which is something that I am still figuring out
Yeah.
what's happening with me. Because there's a lot of figuring out happening here.
Yeah.
So I think I was able to have that pause and notice that I have to give to myself
Yeah.
and have that pause. And I felt like it was very necessary at that point, that to just have the pause and let her handle the book club. And I think it was very nice, because I remember I went away I went away that weekend with my partner, and it was very calming, it was very nice.
Aw, yeah.
And I don't do it often, and I feel like I
Mm.
should be doing that
Yeah.
often,
Yeah.
because there's a lot that
Mm.
happens in my life from Monday to Saturday.
It's,
So I need those moments where it's like, okay, pause.
yeah.
Sindeka, if you die of exhaustion, what you want to do is
Yeah.
not
Ooh.
complete. So I have to give to myself. And I also
Mm.
started dancing, which is something I always
Aw.
loved since I was very, very young. I always thought I was gonna be a dancer somewhere in New
What,
York.
what do you dance?
So they have jazz funk,
Okay.
and they also have dancing in hills. It's in Woodstock. So every Monday it's dancing in hills, and
Okay.
then Fridays is jazz funk. So I think
Aw.
that's one of the things that I do to give to myself.
Yeah.
It's so I forget. I literally forget everything for that hour. And it's so cool. The instructors are so like nice. They like forget about everything, about everyone. This is your moment. Have fun. Feel your body. Do the movement. So it's so cool and so fun. And also, I asked you earlier about music. So I tend to attend a lot of music events.
Yeah.
And like music is a very central thing in my life.
Yeah.
So music always calms me and it always gives a lot to me.
Yeah.
So I attend a lot of music events, and it's beautiful and it's calming and yeah. I think I also get a lot of inspiration from artists because artists are some of the most incredible people I know, and I'm always around and listening to them through music and maybe having conversations with them. They've taught me so much. And like I mentioned earlier, I learned how to speak English through hip hop and things like that.
There's a connection there.
Sure, and it's beautiful to watch. And people sometimes don't believe it. I'm like, yeah, man, listen to music. Music is literally the best thing in the world, and for me, it really is. I know people take that lightly, like, yeah, music's the best thing. I'm like, music is the best thing in the world. Like nothing else. Period. No, for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So music pours into you. That is how you pour back into yourself.
No, truly. And most African music. Jazz. I'm big in jazz. Hip hop. Very big in hip hop. Yothando Mazwa, Yozoe Mudicha, your Mandi C that we mentioned earlier. Like, I feel like they always sing about things that I relate to or things that relate to our state of nation, our society, and things like that. And I love honesty in music. Yes, it's nice to be like, oh, get it, girl. And twerking and everything. I mean, if you go to the club, that's what you're gonna do. Nobody's gonna sing Mandy C in the club.
Not Uma Malo, only
Never. So yes, I would listen to Cardi B. I'll listen to Begin. I'll listen to Nadia. But when I'm like, give me Mandy C. Let me listen to him. There's this artist, his name is Chosi Chosi. He just released an album like Friday. It's incredible. Like it's the most beautiful album I've listened to this year. And those sort of artists are those artists we just have to, I don't know, keep close to us because they're talking about our reality. And I've been wanting to add like an artistic part into the book club. Not to get kids to be artists or whatever, but to show them that there's options. Because sometimes we grow up, you need to be a nurse, you need to be a doctor, you need to be this, you need to be that. But we don't show them the creative side that can actually be
fulfilling,
good for you.
expressive, and pay bills, you know.
Exactly. So even before the passing of, there's this guy, he was a rapper, Bravo. I passed away recently, I think in Jan or Feb, which was the saddest thing. I was planning to have a where I invite artists to come and read to the kids for like a month. Like every month we have like I mean every week we have a different artist come and read to the kids. Because sometimes, first of all, Bravo was loved in the township. Lokshin. A lot of kids knew his music word for word. He was a rapper. Incredible smile. Every time you see him, he just lights up a room. And unfortunately, he took his own life, which is so sad. And you wouldn't have imagined he was going through something or whatever if you would see him. And he was always the first person that I wanted to bring to the book club. And because of his passing, I feel like I really need to do it now. Because you never know that you're talking to them or speaking to them for the last time. And I have ADD, so my brain will always open tabs. hope it does.
No,
Now
no,
you want to go to another
I'm trying to
camp.
keep a trail in my head. I'm just letting you float.
Yeah, so like, I'm here and there, girl. You have to stop me.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this thoroughly.
Sure. So, yeah, artist and music is
Mm.
is everything. It's everything that I am, and it has done so much for me.
Yeah.
Artists have been incredible in my life as
Mm-hmm.
friends, as musicians themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So music, and also I do add music here and there in the book club as like ways of playing games and whatever.
Mm.
And yeah,
Is that a route or path you would imagine ever following in your life?
music.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things I fear in life,
Okay.
and doing music is one of them because
Why?
it's so close to my heart.
Okay.
And my boyfriend
Yeah.
is a music producer, and
Okay.
sometimes I'll just play around with him. And
Yeah.
let's say he has an artist and they recorded a song, and I was like, "How about you do this?" And I'll just do some vocals and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always like, "Why don't you record?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's too close.
Close.
I'll be
Okay.
too judgmental of myself. I'll
Mm.
critique myself
Yeah.
too much if I were to become an artist. Because
Yeah.
it's like, you know, those holy things, like this is holy. I don't wanna
Yeah.
mess with it. I wanna
Yeah.
keep it there. I wanna keep it clean. I wanna keep it
Okay.
sacred. I don't, but I don't wanna say no. I'm
Okay.
not saying no.
Mm.
But it's
It means so much to you that you don't want to do something that would feel subpar. Okay.
yeah, so it's if anyone ever asks you, what do you think Sindeka fears? Making music. That's the scariest thing. I fear making music.
Yay, man.
Yeah.
But maybe try, and see where it goes. I think sometimes we we are afraid of doing the things that mean so much to us because we think we'll ruin it. But sometimes it's truly that it means so much to you that maybe you are the perfect person to contribute to it, because you care about it so much.
Thanks.
A lot of people just go into things not even thinking twice. Some
Yeah.
people grow up with friends
Yeah.
who do music, and every time they just go to the studio and they
Yeah.
sing and they become really big artists, and it wasn't even something they imagined going
Yeah.
into. And there's people who truly, truly
Yeah.
love it, and they really struggle to pour into it
Sure.
because there's deeper meaning to what they put out than just singing lyrics. I personally enjoy going to watch Mandisi perform live because it feels like every time I hear him sing
Yeah.
like that song Umama Lo Ndizalayo,
Uh,
it feels to me like his mom just passed,
Yeah.
and it's been so long ago. And that to me tells me there was so much emotion,
hmm.
so much of himself that went into it. And
Yeah.
every time he sings that song,
Sure.
it's as though he's still in that moment. And I truly, truly
Yeah.
love that about artists who care about
The
what they do.
past.
So
Yeah. Yeah, and
you could be in
Mandisi.
that league. You literally could be in that league.
Girl, I know. Someone has to pay me to make music. I don't know. It has to be like, you have to. This is like,
Hey,
see that you do it or
you die. It has to be an ultimatum
No,
to
it has to
life.
be. No, it has to be because girl.
No, maybe the next few years we'll hear Sindeka has released an album. I'll be the
Maybe.
first to
Yeah.
listen.
I told you so. I told you.
Yeah, I truly enjoy listening
Yeah.
to you sing. No,
Yeah.
it's so bad. I wanted to ask you earlier, do you think we confuse being needed with being valued?
Whew, wow. Yeah, that's a strong question. Oh my goodness. Do we? I think we have to break down being needed
Okay.
first.
Uh-huh.
So when somebody needs you, it's like they can't do anything without you, I think. And then being valued, it's people seeing you, the what you possess, or what your talents or things you can give them. So think we do, man. I think we do because we, especially in South Africa, we have an incredible, insane history. And we've had a lot of, let's take for example, our struggle icons, people who have fought for this. Okay, let me not do that.
Hey! What do you mean for? Are you trying to insinuate?
Let me not do that.
Yeah.
But let me drink some water. I'm gonna be cancelled.
Yeah, it's true, man. I understand you. They are struggle heroes.
Yeah, struggle heroes. And I mean, we have different names. For example, if you can say Nelson Mandela anywhere in the world, and someone will be like, light up. I know who that is.
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, Mama, we need to give
Matigizela
Mandela.
Yes.
And there's going to be like Mama in the background.
Okay.
Because of certain things that were opposed to her name and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, controversy.
Yes. And when we look at these two people, though, I'm going to put men and women in a way.
Yeah.
You look at men and you see that they've needed Nelson Mandela in a way to see and see everything that is done. And then you put Umama Winnie and you see women value her because she has always been the woman behind the needed men in the country.
Yes.
So, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I have it in my brain.
No, go for it.
It's going in my brain,
Okay.
and I'm trying to articulate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, people tend to confuse the two. But I think it's a way of.
So we needed Utat Mandela.
Yeah.
Right, but we don't necessarily value the contribution that Umama had.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I hear you.
You see, you have me. Yeah. So yeah. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Though we might have not felt like we needed Umamu, we need to be in the battlefield, but
exactly.
We need to value her contributions because she was the voice behind the man.
And she was there while he was in prison and she kept everything. But because she was this powerful force and people were like, I think they were threatened by her. There was a lot of, and it was not just white people at the time, it was also black people who were very threatened about prisons.
Yeah.
She had prisons. That woman had prisons.
Yeah.
I remember seeing, I think it was a video, her speaking, saying, they have done so much to me and I fear nothing. When somebody fears nothing, that's the most dangerous person you can ever come across. And it can be dangerous in different ways. But her danger was fighting for black people and fighting for istima sabantu abamnyama, which was insane.
At that time, in that era.
Yeah, and I saw there's a documentary coming up soon.
No, it's out on Netflix.
Is it out?
It is.
Ooh, have you watched it?
I haven't. I think it came out yesterday.
Ooh, I'm nervous.
I think it came out yesterday. I saw a news article about it. Yeah. And I thought to myself, okay, I need to make time to watch that.
I have to as well because I think I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Because I think her granddaughters are actually the producers of the documentary, and I think it's a 7-part docuseries, and it captures everything that is about her, all the controversies, and every question we have.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have a lot of questions about certain things that has been attached to her name. So I think it's going to be quite an interesting one.
I just thought now that you kind of resemble who she is because...
Woo, girl, don't give me that.
No. I mean in the sense that you are in a position of leadership as a black woman. Right. And earlier you were talking about how people often feel threatened by black women, especially if you are doing something that is to aid black people. So I wouldn't necessarily say the two of you are different. It might have been that the time in which she existed, the struggle was more real and physical than what you're doing now. But I do think that Black kids not having access to books,
Yeah.
being limited in terms of what they can learn or read,
Mm.
the lack of literacy in the community.
Yeah.
It is a struggle that we as Black people are facing
Mm.
in this day and age. So I truly, truly think you guys are of the same stature in what you're doing, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
You're welcome. And I was thinking now, do you think as Black women in that position, we are more um attacked or labeled as strong-headed or too aggressive because of our work and our passion towards our people?
Yeah.
Or do you think people accept us and they value our contributions equal to men in the
Mm.
similar position?
Nothing ever is equal to men when it
Yeah,
comes to Black people.
yeah,
Black women, especially. First of all, you have to look at the ladder. We are Black women. Black women are literally like bottom of everything. Like
yeah,
the white man, white woman, Black men, and then you have the Black woman.
yeah,
And I think Black women threaten everyone in the world. And
yeah,
we don't necessarily want to come across as that. But
yeah,
because there has been so much that has happened to us, and you
mm,
don't even have to look at the news or what's happening in the world, it
yeah,
starts at home.
mm,
At home, you have married parents.
uh-huh,
You see your mom wakes up every morning at 5 a.m. She
mm,
has to make food for your father. She has to wake you up and your siblings to have a bath and get ready for school.
mm,
And once everyone is gone, she has to make sure she prepares food, cleans the house, and so on and so forth. And there's one day where that woman is like, I can't take this shit anymore. And they
yeah.
like, boom.
Everything collapses.
And they go insane. And
Yeah,
that's where the mad Black woman comes from, because it comes
yeah,
from a lot of things that we suppress in a way we don't talk about. And it's
mm,
like, no, it has always been like this. Begazela, relax, and everything like that. And that's
yeah,
not only in relationships or being a wife and whatever. It also goes to work. At
mm,
work, women are less paid, and but they give. Literally, we would have a same role, me and a man, but I would be paid less. And
yeah,
that also goes back to women also at some point being like, oh, I can't
mm,
do this anymore.
mm.
And they're like, no, relax. And they have this thing, are you on your period? Are you fine?
Passive
Which is
aggression.
insane. Which
Yeah.
is insane. Because whether I am or not,
Mm.
what I am
Subjected to.
it's not right.
Yeah.
And these are the same people who will be first to say, ah, white people are racist to Black people. But
Yeah.
what are you doing to
About
women?
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's yeah, it's a circle that's not ending, and every time there's people who try to end it, they question that person, or they'll always try to find things to shut that person down. And that's my fear as well. Like, I don't want to,
Yeah.
like, sometimes I look at my past, I'm like, okay, I did this, I did that. And like, is this something I should be ashamed of? But you
Yeah.
never know where the book club is gonna be and what
Yeah.
people will try to dig
Nitpick.
and be like,
Yeah.
oh, but she did this. Oh, she did
Yeah.
that. What is she
Yeah.
teaching our kids? Like, it has gone to the point now I have to watch what I wear. Because I sometimes I do wear revealing things. I'm like, okay, is this too much? Am I showing
Yeah.
too much cleavage? Am I showing too much
Yeah.
booty? I have a big booty. It's there. Whether I
Yeah.
wear like a dress, I wear pants, it's gonna
Yeah.
be there. It's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
And you have to question that.
exactly, because people will always try to find something.
Subjectify you.
Exactly, and it's hard. It's hard. We can sit there and talk about it, because there's a lot of conversations happening in the world, like a lot of them. And I've always been a practical person.
Yeah.
Like for example, my boyfriend is a it's a book smart person. Like
Mhm.
he wants the numbers.
Okay.
Like this happened. They okay, give me the numbers, give me the receipts. Where I'm like, I'll observe and look and be like, oh look, like
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
this. This is happening. So yeah, there's quite a lot to unravel in that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite a lot for women. Women go through so much.
They do. I was having a conversation a few weeks ago um about how, so we were discussing I don't know if you know Mama Pakeng.
Yes, I do.
And we were talking about how during the passing of Uyenene,
Mm,
people like the students wanted to pause and take a break. They didn't want to write exams.
mm.
And in that moment, right, she said, no, everybody's writing exams, right?
Yeah, I didn't
And
know that.
yeah, and my stance was, if in that moment, as a woman, as a Black woman in a position of leadership,
Sure.
if she had said, no, it's okay, let's postpone exams, the students are feeling overwhelmed
Mm,
emotionally right now,
mm.
and it doesn't seem appropriate to have them write exams, she would have been cast as a leader who took emotional decisions because she's a woman, right? And she made the decision to say everybody must write
Yeah,
exams, and she was cast as a heartless woman.
exactly.
So my question was,
Mm,
no decision she would have made would have sounded right because she's a woman,
exactly.
because she's a Black woman in a
Mhm.
leadership position.
Yeah,
Either way, she would have been
still
cast.
crucified.
Do you get what I'm trying to
Mm,
say? So for me, it's like, it's not easy to
yeah,
be a woman in a position of leadership and have to think about, is my butt too big to reveal?
exactly.
You know, something a man doesn't necessarily have to think about. Or
Mm,
like, even here in Cape Town, I was saying to my partner the other day, we will go for a drive and you'll see men running shirtless or driving their cars
thank
shirtless in
you,
Cape Town, right? If I, as a woman, did that,
girl.
I would be objectified. I would be given like ridiculous
Sure.
stares. And it's a question really of, why is it more appropriate when a man does it
Yeah,
than when a woman does
does
it?
it
You
get
know?
crucified? Yeah, it's yeah. It's I think it's one of the hardest thing. And another thing is I've seen it in my family as well. I think
Yeah.
I see it how my aunties will treat the young boys in the family. They will
Yeah.
treat them differently
Mm-hmm.
to us. For
Okay.
example, I there was a cousin of mine who was born in 95 and I'm born in 94. So we're literally the same age
Same age,
group.
yeah. Yeah.
But when we were growing up, after eating, they would say, Sindeka, go wash dishes. Why doesn't he wash dishes with me? And I always say that I was raised by women, by two way who had a system of men, like it's a patriarchal system, but there's women
It's
in their house.
women.
And that goes to the system that has actually made them that way.
Yeah.
It's so, and it's always the little things for me. And before I even go outside, I
Yeah.
notice them at home. And if
Yeah.
you don't notice them at home and speak them out at home,
Mm.
it's hard to go outside and say, you guys do this and do that. Start at
It starts
home.
at
It
home,
starts at home. And
exactly.
those small, minor things, they think they're
Yeah.
small when they're minor,
Yeah.
but they are
It's big.
big
It's
when it goes
big.
out there.
Exactly. Because when I, as a Black child, go into the world, if I'm raised in my home
Mm.
that I serve at the helm of a man,
Mm.
right? That already wires my brain to
Sure.
be submissive to a man, whether in a workplace, whether in a
Exactly.
relationship.
Mm.
I am automatically wired to wash the dishes, to do that and that. And it's like, why do we then, as older women,
Yeah.
start to fight for equal pay, equal treatment, when at home,
You are
that
the
is not what
person.
we are practicing? At home, our tradition is to, to serve the man. The
Yeah.
man is the leader, even in religious
Yeah. No, it's
context,
there.
right? But then it's like, but once I step out of my home, then
Mm.
I should expect the world to treat me equally to a
Yeah.
male counterpart?
Yeah.
How does that work? You can't necessarily expect the world to behave differently than
Sure.
you do in your household, because at the end of the day, the people in the world are the same people in the household. You can't expect people to um turn on and
Yeah.
off that behavior of subjecting women
Sure.
to a certain behavior in the household versus in the workplace. So it really does start at
Yeah.
home.
And those are some of the things I'm trying to teach the kids, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
things I'm trying to instill in them. I remember we had this song.
Yeah.
It's like is it a song? I don't know, but it's something like a poem song or whatever.
Yeah.
So it says ndimnyama ewe ndimnyama and ndintloni ngobumnyama bam. So and then the question was,
Wait, sorry, please translate that.
it says I'm black and I'm
Okay.
proud of being black.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But when you say ndimnyama in the
Yeah.
Xhosa, it's like, remember we have light-skinned kids. So
Mm.
for them, when you say ndimnyama, you're saying they are dark-skinned.
Yeah.
So I had to break down what does being ndimnyama or being black mean to them.
Yeah.
So it became like a conversation with. I'm like, okay, because I have to find ways to have a smaller conversation, because I can't be like, oh, this, that, and whatever.
Colorism.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly. It's so hard to get like, how do I actually make that, simplify that for the kids?
Yeah.
So it was a thing of, okay, now I have to explain that yes, you are light skinned. I had to say, okay, we are all black, but we all come in different shades of blackness. So when you're saying ndimnyama, you're not necessarily saying I'm dark skinned. You are saying you, because the term black is very political in a way. There's a lot of nuances that come from being black. Like when you read what's this guy, Steve Biko's book, Black Consciousness. So good. I recently read the translation of that book in a class, which is mind blowing.
It's so beautiful.
I was like, what? You're translating this book in a it was so good. It was going back to the kids because I will go to this. So I had to teach them, like there's many things that I try to teach them so they understand when they're young, because there's also certain terminologies that they adapt in the township. For example, calling foreign people, know that word that every time I hear somebody say that word, my body does I tense up. And there's been that word being mentioned, and it's not like they know what it means. And every time a child says it, I always ask, what does it mean? Who did you hear say that? And I try to break down and say, we don't say that because it's very derogative. When you call somebody that way, you literally saying they are nothing and whatever, and whatever I explain it in that moment. So I like these small things that I grew up seeing, they still within them, and then I try to break them. I'm like, we are not gonna do this. This is not gonna happen. So there's like a lot of things that needs to be unlearned, and the kids, I don't want to, because kids, when you teach a child, they easily receive and they will remember, because there's a lot of things I've been taught at school that I remember, oh, my teacher said I mustn't say this. And then until a certain age, and I haven't said that. But when you teach kids, they learn and they keep that, and they try to practice whatever you actually trying to teach them. Because another thing I've noticed about teaching black kids, which I hate and sometimes I not love, but I don't know, I have a very difficult relationship with this. So teaching black children, they see teachers with this power. It's like seeing your parents, right? When you go to school, I cannot say you wrong, teacher. I cannot say you right, teacher. I just have to receive
whatever
you're
you
giving to me.
say.
They don't question you. And I always tell them, if you think I'm saying something's wrong, you must always question what I'm saying. This is mostly in black schools in the townships, where they fear to ask a question. Because another thing that I am trying to get across is that, and I don't know if I should say this. I don't know if I should say, but there's a way of punishment. Let me just put this. There's a way of punishment that I don't agree, that I have trauma that happens in township schools. I have, like, I had this trauma while I was there, and I still have this trauma at my age where I'm at work, where let's say you don't do homework and there's a way that they will punish you.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember they would like use the duster and they would
Exactly.
hit your.
And they still do
Yeah.
that. They still do that.
Yeah.
So this fear of mine went to my work environment. Let's say I have a deadline.
Yeah.
I know nobody's gonna hit me or anything,
Yeah.
but there's this fear.
Yeah. You already expect somebody to, you know, put you in your place.
Oh, are they gonna fine me? Are they gonna do that?
Yeah.
And I don't think teachers or our schooling system understands that trauma.
Yeah, that they
And it's
inflicted.
still in me. I remember grade 9.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. A teacher, no, it's
Yeah.
not even grade 9, I'm lying.
Okay.
Grade 3, a teacher
Sure.
slapped me.
Yeah.
I am 32 years old now, and I still
Yeah.
remember
That
that
moment.
moment.
Yeah.
Like, how do you hit a 9-year-old a slap?
Sure.
So there's a lot of things that still needs to be dismantled in our education system, especially when it
Yeah.
comes to schools in the township, because the
Mhm.
teachers are very comfortable. They're
Mm.
so comfortable. And what
Yeah.
pisses me off the most is when people who had the same experiences as me and now they are teachers and they still
They'll
doing
inflict
the same thing.
thing. Yeah.
That pisses me off.
I think it's that idea of we often default to what we know. You know, even though you know better,
Yeah.
because this is a behavior that you're used to and you know it works,
Yeah.
you just default to it and you don't you choose what is easiest over what is better,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. You know you were inflicted through corporal punishment, whatever
Yeah.
trauma you have, you go and you become a teacher.
Mm.
And instead of choosing every day to be patient with these
Yeah.
learners, which will take its own time,
Sure.
you know, these people come from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
they have different capabilities and skills, and you can, as a Black teacher, choose to be patient and kind and move at each kid's pace.
Yeah.
But yes, our systems are overwhelmed. There's a lot
Mm.
of kids.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily always possible for a teacher to be um attentive to every
Yeah.
child. So the easiest is to discipline, right? If I feel like I'm teaching you and you
And
can't hear
yeah.
what I'm saying, it's easier for me to default to a behavior that I know that I
Yeah.
saw other people
To
use to instill behavior or learning in kids. And
yeah.
it's like, we need to change that. We need to
Girl.
see something different so that we know, it's possible and we can
Yeah.
do better. Like I was thinking back to what you said earlier about how you would be told to go wash the dishes after
Yeah.
eating. And I remember in my house growing up,
Mm.
my dad actually did more of the cooking than my mom did.
Wow.
And I realize now as an adult, I barely cook.
Girl.
My partner does most of the cooking that I do. And I'm realizing it's because of how I was raised. I don't feel the need
Yeah.
to be in the kitchen and cooking. Not because I disrespect my partner
Yeah.
or I don't feel like I need to cook for him.
Yeah.
It's not a behavior I'm used to.
Sure.
I'm used to a family, a house where my dad would cook.
Yeah.
And he was a very traditional man.
Is it?
Yeah, my mom would like use a tray to give him food.
Wow.
That type of tradition. But in our household, my dad was very he was very different, man.
Yeah.
He exemplified a very different role as a Black man to, like, compared to what I would see outside. He would cook for us. My dad would drop us off at school every morning. He would come pick us up after
Sure.
school. He would make food for us. And my mom would just go to work. She'd come back very late and she would sleep. And we'd only ever see her on weekends when she did the laundry, or
Yo.
she'd make us clean the windows and the stoops and whatever the case may be. So I had a bit of a balance growing up where I would see my mom do most of the domestic chores, whatever the case may be.
Mm.
But my dad also showed up in some of those nurturing roles where he
Yeah.
would make food for us. He would be the one who took care of us after school because he had more time in his work schedule than my mom did. So I truly, truly believe that it's really how we are raised and the
Yeah.
environments that we grow up in that cultivate who we become as adults. So
Yeah, sure. But
yeah,
you're fortunate to have a father like that.
he was really
A lot of us are
special.
like, "Ooh, girl, did by." No, we're out here with
But
dating issues and we
sure.
try and navigate that. And
Yeah.
it's something else. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm not saying he was perfect. My dad was far from perfect.
Mm,
He was very strict, you know.
mm.
He had his own um issues. Like he was very like very strict. My dad was it was his way or the highway, but
Oh,
he was also soft. So he was a very complicated man, and I think that has taught me to be more patient with people because human beings are very complicated, right? You are not necessarily one thing.
yeah.
We are all a spectrum of things, and I think it's beautiful to see how human your parents are. And
Mm,
I appreciated that with my
sure.
parents as an adult. And I remember recently, um, my siblings and I were talking about how we were not necessarily close to my mom before my dad passed,
Wow.
which is interesting because a lot of girls, like we are all girls, a lot of
Yeah.
girls grow up in their household very close to their
Father.
moms.
I mean, yeah, to the mom.
But we were closer to my dad
That's
more than my
interesting.
mom. And I see even now as adults, I was watching my little sister the other day. She took a video with her friends, and all her friends are male friends. And I remembered as a child growing up, my older sister and I had the same thing where we
Yeah.
all had male friends as
Siblings.
opposed to female friends.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was thinking, okay, how you grow up really, really impacts who you are as an adult, what you are attracted to,
Yeah.
what you feel comfortable around. Because even now, I'm very much comfortable being around my partner
Mm.
because he's a male figure and I
Yeah.
grew up very close to a male figure in my
Yeah.
life, as opposed to like sitting with a woman and talking to them about my feelings because I didn't have access to that growing up.
Sure, that's
You
interesting. Oh
see,
my goodness.
so I really do think it's really our environment and just going back to that teaching thing, if teachers really wanted to change that environment where those kids are raised, they would. It's just a matter of, being patient
Yeah,
and being particular and like it has to mean something to you if you're gonna teach a black child,
that's the
it has to be a
that's the ding
passion.
ding 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 ding. It has to mean
It
something
has
to
to
you
mean something to
because
you.
sometimes it's all about the check. People,
Yeah.
I'm doing this to get
To get
money, to get
money.
money, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie and say kids are the angels of the world.
No.
Oh, oh.
They are not.
No, they are
No,
not.
they
Yes,
are
they
not.
are pure and everything, but
Yeah.
you,
Yeah. They are
they will
taxing.
take everything out of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they will.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be patient. You have to
Yeah.
remember why you're doing this. You have
Yeah.
to look the bigger picture. What
Yeah.
do I want after this, outside
Mm-hmm.
of this? What are the
Yeah.
possibilities
Yeah.
for these kids after this?
Ooh.
So that's why it's crucial that
Yeah.
we get people who are passionate about
Mm.
teaching, who have a goal.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to say, because I've seen this, I don't want to lie,
Yeah.
with students leaving high school and saying, I think I'll just go to teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go to teaching.
Yes, because it's like the easiest accessible career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that.
No.
You shouldn't see teaching as like, oh, whatever, I can
Yeah.
easily do that.
Yeah.
No, teaching
It's a very
takes a lot
important
from you.
career. Yeah.
Because when they look at you, you are
Mm-hmm.
not just a teacher. You
Yeah.
are a lot of things. You are
Mm.
not just a teacher.
Yeah.
You are the teacher. You are a pastor if you're Christian.
Mm.
You are a mother.
Yeah.
You are the chef. You are literally everything. Because they will
Yeah.
ask you for food. Do you have a biscuit in your bag?
Oh.
And I always have to have a sweet or whatever in my bag.
Yes.
So
Yes.
whoever asks, I'm able to like, oh yeah, go check
Mm.
in my bag if I have anything. And you are a lot of things
Yeah.
to that
The
one,
kids.
Lena. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, it saddens me that we still have that topic. We're still talking about kids being hit at school, which is a terrible thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen, I'm at 2000. I'm at 2000. I sort of fighting, which is terrible to see online.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But we have to go back and look what is causing these kids to be like this now.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden kids are fighting teachers? Why are they hitting a teacher? Why are they hitting a principal?
Yeah.
How did we get there? It's not an overnight thing. Let's be disrespectful to our teachers. Yes, you'll get a kid who's like, that child is just disrespectful. But of course, with that kid as well, there's underlying issues, like figuring out what's wrong, what's happening at home and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not an overnight thing for kids to be disrespectful to teachers. And it's also not an overnight thing for teachers to give that sort of punishment to children. It's like what you said. We have to find ways to do this. And it all boils down to how do we treat each other at home?
Yeah.
What are the dynamics at home? And what is your reason? Why are you there? What are you doing there?
Yeah.
And we also have to tell children, why are you learning? Why is it important for you to learn? Why are you at school? Why are you at school? Do you know why we're at school? Because sometimes it's like, I'm going to wake up. You're at school today again. Why are you at school? So that's quite
no, that is true. That is true. Because a lot of times we just zombie through school. Like, I don't even remember why I went to school, primary school. I genuinely don't remember. I think school started meaning something to me when I was in high school. But the earlier years, it was a matter of you had to go.
Yeah.
Your parents would wake you up. They would force you to wake up and go to school. But I didn't really understand the concept of going to school and why I needed to be there outside of meeting your friends at school, lunch break, your lunch box. That is literally all that school meant to me at that age. So maybe it's also, as much as we're saying, okay, the teachers need to be more passionate, put in more work, cultivate a better environment for the kids also need to understand the purpose of being in that environment, and maybe we meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, no, true. And I've noticed a lot of kids are not the older kids. They like after high school, there's quite a lot of kids who've been saying, I don't see a reason for me to further my studies, which is fair with the technology, AI, and a lot of things that actually have access to and be able to extend their learning and maybe get jobs through it. I don't know. And I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, it's fine for them to do that. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know, man. What if just a degree, Nyana? Just a degree, Nyana? And then go then. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but you have this safe thing that you can fall back
Yeah,
to.
because now they're like, high school is like matric. Matric is the nothing. Bro, matric is the nothing. I remember how matric used to be the thing. And people were like, oh, I have matric. Oh, let's hire her. She has matric. But now matric is the nothing. You will see people struggle with the most amazing marks because they said, I'm not going to go to varsity or college or whatever. And then you see them struggle. And it's not just that they have matric because there's always system around finding work after school and everything like that. But what I'm saying is matric is not it anymore. You have to get something. Even though there's many opportunities that you can get with just matric, but just be safe. Like, be safe out there. And I remember when I was doing grade 12, we had this teacher who always say, you guys think life after high school is nice. You think life after high school is gonna be the best thing in the world. You will get it. You will figure it out. It's gonna be
fairy
you
tale.
will see. And we saw.
But I do think to some extent it's really how that life is romanticized, right? Because growing up, adults don't really expose you to the difficulties of adulthood, right? The expenses, the managing your household, how taxing it is to have kids to the parent, as much as, yes, you chose to have the kids, or if you did, sometimes people just fall pregnant and, they just have to make it up as they go. But that is taxing to the parent as well because you are human, so But then there's this layer and wall that, sometimes as adults we create to protect the kids, and it
Yeah.
often results in them romanticizing adulthood,
Yeah.
because all they know is that, oh, you bring them food, you take them
Mhm.
to school, month end you go, you buy groceries, it looks nice, but the behind the scenes of that, the putting in the hours at work,
Yeah.
balancing your household
Yeah.
needs with whatever responsibilities that you have financially, that is hard.
Mhm.
And if we are not opening that channel of communication with kids, then they will romanticize
Yeah.
adulthood. They'll think it's this perfect world where you suddenly have access to all this
Yeah.
money and you don't have to ask for anything. You can just
Yeah.
buy yourself anything whenever you
Yeah.
want. Which is all true and fair, but also there's the other side of it, that
Yeah.
we don't talk about. So I think it starts there. If we didn't as teachers just show up at school with your Benz and portraying this
Yeah.
beautiful life,
It's
then
not there. Nje, it's just dates.
the kids would be more, I don't know, realistic in their
Yeah.
expectations of what
Yeah,
adulthood
and
is.
yeah, the kids think everything falls from the tree. I don't want to lie, because we don't. I remember, I think I don't know who it was,
Yeah.
but I remember them saying, with my kids, I say, this is my salary.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna break it down. What's gonna happen in this household, and I want you to see how much I'm left with.
Shoot.
And I thought that is such a good thing to teach your children at a
Yeah.
very young
Young age.
age.
Yeah.
Like, they have to know this
Yeah.
is how much goes to electricity, this is
Mm.
how much goes to food. You can't
Yeah.
just be thinking everything falls from
From
the
the
tree.
sky,
Like,
exactly.
no, nothing falls.
Yeah.
Everything you have to earn. You have to
Mm.
understand there's also sacrifices
Yeah.
behind that, because we have mothers who would have wanted to further their studies, but because
Mhm.
there's us and
Yeah.
we are incredible, insane responsibilities, they had to pause their entire lives for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, kids, we have to be open. And I think it's more of us, especially as Black people, we're like,
Yeah.
we don't want our kids, we don't want to stress them.
Yeah.
We don't want to stress about what's
Yeah.
happening, especially when it comes to money. I don't want to
Mm.
lie, I'm terrible with money. I'm still figuring. I am the worst person with money.
Yeah.
Because nobody told me, okay, this is how you handle
Save,
money.
you invest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never seen my parents, maybe they did save,
Yeah.
but I've never seen them save to the point that they buy like something that, okay, maybe a TV or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I can't point something in my childhood and say, oh, I remember when my mom kept saying she's saving for this and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, even if there's no food, they're not gonna communicate and say, the reason we don't have food this month is because we paid this and paid that. It's just that we
Yeah.
don't have food, and then
Yeah.
maybe let's go try.
And also that conversation is not up for
You're
discussion.
right now. You're right now.
It's we don't have food, full stop.
And I'm gonna go ask your aunt if she has something for us.
Yeah.
But why don't we have food this month? Why is this
Yeah.
month different from the other month?
Mm.
Why can't I get money to pay at school for whatever we have to do at school? Why this month? What
Yeah.
happened this month?
Yeah.
And I feel like those conversations are crucial.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, I'm also like the type of aunt who's like, hey, Milan, I don't have money. And I don't explain why don't I have money.
Again, going back to what you're used.
Exactly. Because my niece will be like, oh my God, can you please buy me this? I'm like, hey, I don't have money. And I can't even
Yeah.
And those are sort of things we all have to relearn and like
Yeah.
unlearn and try to be better. Because we're the generation that's actually trying to be better than the one up behind us. And it's a learning.
It's
Like I said, we are learning
yes,
every day.
yes. Okay. So my last question to you, and this is a question we ask everyone on the
Yeah.
show. What do you love most about where you are now?
Oh my goodness. I don't know, you're gonna make me cry. Oh, that's such a hard one.
Okay.
Because it's so hard sometimes to look at yourself and try to find things you love when it's the certain hard things happening in your life.
Yeah.
But I think the opportunities I get to have and the people. See, I'm gonna cry, girl. Woo! Um, whew. Wait.
Okay.
Let me drink some water.
Okay.
You know, when you come from a lot of things that you have to do for yourself, and you come from nothing, and you sort of one who sort of have to move the family forward in that way.
Yeah.
And let me try.
Relax.
Everything is coming. Mucus, tears.
I'm so
sorry.
Okay.
It's like you the first of everything in your family, which is what I am in my family. I'm like the first of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, it does take a toll on you. Like we had the conversation earlier. It takes a toll on you. And I had dreams. One of my biggest dreams was to work for a magazine, which I work for.
Yeah.
And that career has opened so many doors for me.
Aww.
Like, it's insane. Sometimes I sit and think, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is my life.
Yeah.
Like, I would go into rooms that I dreamt about, and I'll be there with the people. Like, the other day, last month, I was interviewing Bonang. Like, we were sitting like this. I'm interviewing Bonang, and then we both got emotional.
Yeah.
Because she took us to her brand, BNG.
Yeah.
So she was celebrating, I think a year. I think it's been 3 years. I forgot what exactly she was celebrating.
Yeah.
So I was telling her, because she took us to a very white neighborhood. I know that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I was saying to her, on my way here, I got emotional because a black girl is taking me here, and I've always passed this place. And we both got emotional over that.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to, you have to dream.
Big dreams.
You have to dream. You have to be crazy about your dreams.
Yeah.
You have to see it and envision it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lie, there's nobody in my family that I saw pursue their dreams. For me, it was a thing of coming within.
Yeah.
I look at everywhere and see, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to end up there.
Yeah.
And I have to fight.
Dude.
So I had to fight so many things.
Yeah.
I remember when I was the only person working at home, and I had to stop working because I was like, no, man, I need to go back to school.
Yeah.
And I did that when I went to study marketing.
Yeah.
And then after marketing, I landed a job, like amazing job.
Yeah.
Then after that, it like went on with being amazing jobs for me. And I always believe, when we sacrifice, there's always something bigger behind the sacrifice.
Ooh.
And I always tell people, whatever you do, if there's a sacrifice, and the sacrifice, it could be you moving from what you know, it could be taking a small salary, it could be anything. Anything you do in life, if there's a sacrifice, I promise you, you will get something, and you will get what you want. So I'm happy where I am. It's not great. It's not always rainbows. But I'm grateful.
It's where you want
truly
to
am.
be.
No, truly.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Thank you.
This is such a beautiful conversation. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. You're such a ball of good energy, and I'm sorry you cried. I really am. I'm trying to veer away from making people. So it's so beautiful, man. I truly, truly appreciate you coming and having this conversation. And I hope only good things for your book club. I hope it grows. I hope you guys get more investors. Yeah. And I hope, you can figure out the balance between giving and choosing yourself sometimes. You're such a beautiful person.
Thank you.
And I hope only good things for your life.
For you as well, for your podcast. This is amazing. And this is my first podcast.
Yay!
So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited and I
Yeah.
can't wait to see this. And I hope
Yeah.
you get what you want out of this
Thank
podcast, because I think
you.
that's one of the most important things. Because sometimes we start things unintentionally,
Yeah.
and then we like, okay, we'll see what it goes. But I hope whatever you want through this
Yeah.
podcast, you get that.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
And to everybody at home who's watching, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I truly, truly hope that this episode has added value to your life. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Sure thing. This is so cool.
Oh.